Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is David Novak. These two books, let's see, have to go back to the library. In Chicago, we have a system where anything you've checked out will keep getting renewed indefinitely by the library unless somebody requests it. So that means anybody who happens to be in the branch where these books came from and is just browsing the shelves will not find them. But I don't know how much browsing of shelves people do anymore. Anyhow, both of these books I've pretty much decided not to read. And I first checked them out because I saw a nice video by Tom Holland about the origins of Islam. And in that video, this author, Patricia Crone, played a large part. She was very much interviewed throughout the entire documentary. And Holland, I can't remember exactly all aspects of the thesis that he forwarded, but it was something to the effect, which was completely new to me, that Islam has always been called the historic religion, meaning everything happened under the full light of history, as opposed to previous and other religions. But it turns out, according to Holland, that that is not true. So as with, the Gospels were written, I think, 70 years after the death of anybody who would have been alive to witness the events that they speak of. So apparently with the Quran and Muhammad, all of a sudden they appear, but there is a 60-year gap in which they have not entered into history. And I actually, the book that made a big splash forwarding this thesis was written by Patricia Crone in conjunction with another author. So it had two authors. And either my library does not have it, or it has it under conditions where you have to read it in the library itself, which is generally an impossible thing to do. I really had hoped to see that book, and for sale at the used vendors, it's like about $400, and it's not a topic that I have a burning interest in right now, but I still would like to see that book. It suggests that Islam as a religion is actually an outgrowth of Judaism. And I believe Tom Holland puts forth this hypothesis or thesis, what have you. And I would like to see how it is fleshed out based on documentary evidence and so forth. But right now, while I'm reading the Crusades by Runciman, of course, a lot of that is involving clashes between Christians of various stripes and Muslims of various stripes. And when I'm done with that, I hope perhaps to leave that part of the world and at least as far as historical research is, find myself in some other environs or places. So that's how it stands with these. I have not read either of them. I looked at them and I did not care for Tom Holland's style at first glance, and this seemed okay, but it seemed a bit repetitive, and it did seem a bit dry, which usually is something that I like. But I think there were statements that seemed factually indisputable or factually correct, probably, but they didn't seem to be related to any kind of a overview that I could make much clear sense of. And so in both cases, this would be a bit more of a struggle to read, and Tom Holland would be easier to read, but I don't foresee getting to either of them anytime soon, regardless. And so I think it's best to return them. And if in the future I feel a great need to look at the subject again, then I can just recheck them out if needs be, or perhaps even purchase this one, because I think there's lots of copies of that everywhere. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for stopping by.